Please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
I've been in Ottawa for a day now. I've been in Ottawa for a day, and admittedly, when I got here, one of the first places I went to was the Lego store. I'm in the Lego store, I'm looking around, I had to stop myself. I was about to buy something, I was like, I don't live here. I have to transport this thing. It's one thing to buy it at the Lego store and take it home. That's a hobby. It's a very different thing to take what is a box the size of you to the airport. You know what? Ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved Legos. I've always been like a huge fan of Legos because Legos, they're sometimes your first chance to like really express your imagination. You could express how well you follow instructions. Comes with a little instruction manual. If you want to build a little police station, you could build it. You just take it. It's like a child's first introduction to IKEA. But also, once you've done it, this is how I was. Once you've built the thing that it came as, like in the box, then you could break it all down, you can make something totally new. And if you like Legos enough, and if you get enough Legos, you can make something that nobody else can make because you've got so many unique pieces and your mind is just going, right? I loved Legos so much. And Legos was actually how I started to differentiate some of my friends. Because my other friends love Legos too, and sometimes you go over to their house and they had made like a whole mask out of Legos or something you would never even think of. And then it was my buddy Spencer. I went over to Spencer's place and he had basically just made the one big square. And I don't mean like an impressive square, like a square of something. I'm telling you right now that he basically took like the little land map they used to give you that's like a good base for all the Legos. He used that to then just outline that and then just make it tall and then topped it up with some Legos and then said, done. And I honestly didn't know how to take that. I was like, I don't know if you're thinking outside of the box or if you are the box. There was like an urban legend when I was a little kid about this kid, because it was one of those things where somebody at your school knows a kid who knows a kid. But basically, he never picked up his Legos. Never picked up his Legos at all. And so, his parents always be stepping on him. It's a special pain to step on Lego. I've been told it will make you regret an entire parenthood for a split second. If you step on Lego just right, you're like, ooh, if I could snap my fingers. Because, stepping on a Lego is the biting your lip of feet. It's a terrible feeling. And it's like you don't know what it is right away. Because your feet are so sensitive that when you step on Lego, especially the right Lego, you think to yourself, wow, is this a bed of needles? Am I dying? And so, he never picked up his Legos. And then there was this one day where he had been playing with his Legos in the living room, and then his parents told him to wash up, so he did, and then he went right to bed, and his parents weren't really paying attention either. And they had one of these interesting houses. They had one of these houses where, they named the room different than what you would name it. Some people will make a room that should clearly be a bedroom, a study, because they got other bedrooms and whatever. Or some people, when they have enough money, will just call something a sunroom, which just means we're so rich we have nothing to put in here. We actually have more house than things, and some sun gets in here, so it's a sunroom. We're just going to pack it with sun. Technically, every room with a window is a sunroom, but far be it from me to... But he had a nice house, and his so-called living room was upstairs. It wasn't like downstairs when you walk in where the TV is or whatever. They had it upstairs, left all his Legos out. And that night, someone broke into his house. Burglar broke in, was stepping, you know the steps you take. I mean, I guess y'all don't know. I don't imagine but the steps you take when you're trying to be nice and gentle and delicate, don't want to make too much noise because you don't know which floorboard is going to give you away. You know, you're in a house that you're not supposed to be in. You got to be extra careful. And this burglar happened to perfectly step on a Lego. He didn't scream, didn't shout or anything. He just hopped. He just hopped in place, stepping on yet another Lego. This man hopped in place and stepped on so many Legos over and over again, you would think that it was a Looney Tune. Except unlike a Looney Tune, this man hopped and hopped and hopped until he accidentally hopped down the stairs. Yep. Look. We'll see how you feel about this. But look, anyway, so he died, right? No, he was hopping on stairs like an idiot. What did you think was gonna happen? Man's a burglar, he's not invincible. Anyway, so then everybody heard the crash because it was all the way down, right? Maybe there was like a yelp in there, but who knows? And so then lights start coming on in the house. Everybody runs to see what the ruckus is. And they see the burglar at the bottom of the stairs. And apparently, his dad turned to him and said, "You can leave your Legos out if you want." I don't know if you've heard, but there is a scandal right now rocking the internet. Look, it is based in Legos. I'm gonna explain it as quickly as I can. I'm gonna explain it as quickly as possible, but just, there is a man who had a Lego collection, Star Wars Legos specifically, and it was one of those collections that had amassed over time, and it was worth in the six figures. I know. And so he has an agreement, a consignment agreement with a franchise of Bricks and Minifigs. And so Bricks and Minifigs, the franchisee, or E, I don't know business, but basically the person that works at Bricks and Minifigs, whose store it is, they make a deal with him. Hey, we'll put your Legos in our store, put them on display, and then when they sell, we'll cut you 65% and we'll take the other 35% for our trouble trying to sell it for you. And then he apparently was like, they were just in my basement, so yes, I would like very much start selling them. And so then everything's well and good. Everything's going fine, you know? He gets some money every once in a while. People are coming in. Wow, but like older and in pristine condition. These Legos had not been played with. Then this franchise, they lose their franchising license. They get shut down by corporate and someone else comes in. Now this new person that comes in tells her, the woman who owned the franchise, look, you gotta be out by tonight, all right? And then she was like, that's impossible because I'm still working on inventory. Also, we have this deal with this guy and we give him 65%, we keep 35%. He's got all these Star Wars Legos in here. It's worth in the six figures. And they tell her, hey, that's not really your problem anymore because you don't work here anymore because it's our store now. So some time passes. And then this guy realizes I haven't gotten some money in a while. And you know, Mandalorian's out. They got that Groot movie, like something should be happening. There's interest. And so he checks in with the store and the store is like, who are you? And he's like, I have an agreement with y'all. His son, I believe, shows up to the store and is like, hey, we have an agreement where we have some of our Legos here. When we sell them, y'all cut us a check and everything. And they were like, we don't know you. And he was like, well, I know the agreement isn't with you specifically, but it was with this franchise and it was with the last person who you took over from. Yeah, but we don't know you. And he was like, okay, you may not know me, but like, I need to get back there, check the inventory, see what's ours. We'll just take home what's ours. And they were like, yeah, we don't know you. Those are our Legos now. And so then they get into this, what you would kind of call a legal battle, but not quite yet. It actually took a YouTuber named Reckless Ben to get involved. And Reckless Ben was trying everything possible to get these people their money. Things I would have never thought of. He was trying to get them to sue him just to get them in court so he could serve them their lawsuit because they were impossible to serve. I don't know if you've ever been served before, but they usually just walk up and they ask you your name. And when you say your name, because you're you, they're like, you've been served, and boom, there it is. But they were, these guys, these two dudes who took over, they were crafty. Ben was doing all the right things through the court, but then he literally shows up to a store. They had and closed the store down. They went ahead and closed the store just so they couldn't be served. And then he went to their house and they called the police. And look, here's the thing. You gotta understand, I'm watching this whole thing unfold as a black person in America. And it is a wild ride to watch white people call the cops multiple times on white people. It's great. Every time Ben tried to serve him or tried to get somebody else to serve, they would call the police on Ben. So then Ben finally was talking to the police and was like, well, can you serve him? I mean, you the police. And it started to feel like there was a bit of a conspiracy afoot because the police always seemed to be on these guys' side initially, right off the bat. Turns out that one of these guys is high up in the Mormon church. Now, this is happening. Yeah, this is happening in, like, I guess, a Mormon community. And so some of the police officers are also in the Mormon church. So then there's speculation that the police are all in on it together to try to help out this guy because they're all Mormons. Which you wouldn't think would have anything to do with anything. But apparently, according to some people, it very much has everything to do with everything because this dude is over here calling the police and the police are showing up like they work for him. And so it turns out that one of the guys that owned this franchise that did this stuff to this man is named Josh Johnson. Look, you try to do everything you can to be like a good person and stuff. You do your best, but woof. It doesn't help when this type of stuff is out there. Now, admittedly, Josh Johnson, very common name. You could even call it an AI-generated name. This is about as common as it gets. So I have had no shortage of run-ins with other Josh Johnsons. There's a lot of us. There's a ton of us. And this Josh Johnson was over here using the police. Allegedly. You have to say allegedly because this Josh Johnson is very litigious. You have to say allegedly. Okay, look, we're going to do a thing. We're going to assume allegedly for the rest of the time that I'm talking. And on top of that, because I'm going to say Josh Johnson, maybe I'm talking about him, maybe I'm talking about me. I just have to make sure that I am not going to get sued. But yeah, this Josh Johnson seems like a terrible person. He's literally over here threatening to shoot Ben just for trying to serve him for his lawsuit. And then the Legos. It's like you may not have made an agreement with this person, but you still own some of their property by it being in your building. That's just the law. And then there's body cam footage of this Josh Johnson arguing with the police about what the law is when they try to serve him the papers for the lawsuit. And man, it is wild to watch a Josh Johnson argue with the police about what the law is on camera. It's just something this Josh Johnson could never do and get away with it. You know what I mean? Because I forgot to mention before, a lot of the Josh Johnsons, especially in the U.S., are white. That is, that's a majority of the name, is a lot of white Josh Johnson. In fact, when I show up as Josh Johnson, there are people, I can see it in their eyes, they're like, really? Huh. Yeah. It's crazy. This dude, Reckless Ben, even got swatted. Yeah, got swatted. Was in his Airbnb with his friends. They were trying to figure out how they're going to serve these papers. The person that was there to serve the papers also, because they keep not having the opportunity to serve, because every time they try to like knock on the door and serve the papers or something, this Josh seemed to be calling the police on them, and then the police show up with like a different thing. Now they talk to the police every single time, and every single time they talk to the police are like, yeah, actually, you don't seem to be doing anything worth calling us for, and then they leave. But still, he won't open the door, so then they can't serve him. And so then the person that's meant to serve Josh just starts hanging out with Reckless Ben all day because they can't serve the papers. So then they kind of just have a sidekick for a good portion of this journey, like, and yeah, they get swatted, all this stuff. Like, eventually, there's threats on Josh. They arrest Ben, and Josh basically says he's stalking me, but he is trying to serve you the papers so that they could see. But then the police are like, "Yep, that's stalking. You keep showing up here trying to get his attention." And it's like, it's so crazy to think that out of all the corruption, with policing in the U.S., this is the one that has people burned up. This is the one where it's like, those police can't do that. Why you arrested Ben trying to do something right? Why you arrested him? See, it's all because you're Mormon. It sounds like a conspiracy theory. But then you watch it play out, because they even say, so what Ben ends up doing, instead of even trying to serve Josh anymore, he just comes up with a GoFundMe campaign for the people who own the Legos so they can get some money, so that way they can maybe be made whole, because it doesn't look like they're going to get their Legos back. And it doesn't look like they're going to see these people in court. And if they do, it's going to take years potentially. So then they start the GoFundMe. And they're about to put up a GoFundMe sign across the street from Josh's house. And across the street from Josh's house is a sign, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said something like, "Hi, I steal from the elderly," right? And then wouldn't you know it, and so they barely got the sign up. They're really trying to put the last strap on one of the signs, and the police show up. And the police are over here talking to them and asking them what they're doing. And then one of the guys says, like, "Look, we started this GoFundMe because we're clearly not going to be able to serve this guy." And then that guy says, "Well, this is defamation." I've never seen the police so proactive. I've never seen, do you know how many people are actually stalked? Like, actually stalked. And then they go to the police station. Stalker probably see him going to the police station. And then the police tell them, "Yeah, dang, that sucks. But there's not much we can do about it." These police are over being proactive on Josh's behalf. They're saying this is defamation. And then they arrest the guy that's trying to put up the sign. But what for? The defamation, you have to be sued for the defamation. Which would be great, because then he would be in court for you to serve him his papers. It's wild. All this is happening. This man got my name. Do you know what I mean? When you ever see somebody using your name, you like, stop, you're bad at it. You are terrible at being Josh Johnson. I'm at least regular. You over here making a bad name for all of us, and there's a lot of us. there's so many Josh Johnsons in the United States of America that you could just be going about your business and be mistaken for a Josh Johnson that you are not. It's happened to me many times. You'll just be living your regular life. You'll be doing everything you're supposed to do. Ooh, I feel a little sick. I got a sniffle. Let me go to the doctor. You go to the doctor. The doctor writes you a prescription. You go to the pharmacy. You pick up your prescription. So far, we're following all the steps towards wellness. And then you read the instructions and they're not exactly the same instructions as the doctor gave you, but you're like, okay, he was going off the top of the dome, so maybe he got it wrong a little bit. And so then you take your medicine and then you go to bed. And then you wake up with your feet on fire. Your feet are burning up, and just your feet, I cannot describe, just these, tingling and on fire. You lift the covers because you're thinking in your head, maybe somebody set my sheets on fire. You throw the covers off you, and all you see is your feet. They look regular. They look like just your regular feet, but on the inside, full of matches, all on fire. So you make a move towards the bathroom. You roll out of bed. You're not feeling your best right now, so you can't just get up like you normally would. Normally, you would just go ahead and slide out of the bed. But this one, you really got to roll and let yourself fall because nothing in your body feels right. And then you go to walk to the bathroom. But walking to the bathroom means stepping on these feet, which are already on fire. Nevertheless, the pressure. So now you just decide, I'm gonna crawl to the bathroom. And you crawl to the bathroom, you grab the sink, you lift yourself up, you look in your own eyes, and they don't look regular. And all of this is because your name is Josh Johnson. And so is somebody else's who has blood pressure medication. And so, you shouldn't, but you do just sort of sit on the toilet and wait to die. I don't know what it's like in Canada. I don't know how many Josh Johnsons there are, but I feel like a Canadian Josh Johnson, even if he was a criminal, he'd be like polite about it. That's what I respect. Look. I was reading some of the Canadian news in preparation for coming here, and y'all, okay. There is a pilot. There's a pilot for Air Canada that flew for rounding up 30 years. And apparently, allegedly, you gotta use that for everybody. I don't know how litigious this person is. Apparently, this person was flying for 30 years for Air Canada without a license. Listen. I know this is probably a crime or whatever, but clearly he is talented. No, I understand. Look, you shouldn't do that. Go get your license. But wow, I've never seen somebody doing a crime apply themselves so much. Think about that. Think about that. This man is not supposed to be in the air like that. Did it as a career. Landing, taking off. Look, anybody can take off. I could take off. This man over here, no crashes. No accidents or anything. Had to be perfect. He had a pressure on him that other pilots can't relate to. There are pilots out there right now phoning it in. They got a license to fall back on. They could get another job. You know it. You've had some hard landings. One time we landed so hard, I was like, that definitely counts as a crash. I know we kept going and everything, but the way we bounced, I didn't like that. Y'all broke the landing gear. I can feel it. I can feel it. Especially, it's one thing when you're watching a movie and you hear the wheels touch down on the runway, you hear like whenever you hear that drag sound. If you hear it in the plane, no, you should have slowed down. You should have yielded to the cloud or whatever because y'all landing too hard. This man didn't even get enough complaints to be found out, really. Not only did he fly for Air Canada for 27 years, this man retired last year. I think if you retired, you should get away with it. Like if you come on now. He retired. And why y'all messing with this man now? He done. He already said he won't go fly again. He's literally retiring from a life of crime. Trying to turn things around and y'all crazy enough too, his name is Jeffrey Wall. Jeffrey Wall never hit one. Names have so much power. They carry so much weight. Just a name alone can change everything. It can change a room. There are some people that have ruined names. Like you'll meet someone and someone else ruin your name for them. You weren't even involved. You just got here. But they met too many people with your first name, so then they're like, oh, Nicole. And Nicole will be like, I just got here. What did I do? A name can change an entire room. Doesn't even matter how many people are in it. Like I say Trump. See? You see? Yeah, as soon as you say Trump, it changes the mood of the conversation. This is wild. You got this man. Everybody made fun of Biden for falling asleep. Everybody made fun of Joe Biden falling asleep when he was president, and a couple times when he was running. Everybody was over here. Ooh, he too old. Look at him. You know what I mean? Including me. I was like, hey, he shouldn't be asleep right now. But to be fair, listen. To be fair to Biden, to be fair to him, he did only fall asleep when things were boring. That is, go back and watch the tape. That's a fact. This man, Trump, is falling asleep when he is on camera in the Oval Office and somebody talking to him. Biden could get away with sleeping sometimes because he's so still as a person. There were some times where you were genuinely like, I don't think he's asleep. I think that's one of his blinks. Biden was awake when it mattered. Trump will be on TV for the nation, which you don't have to do, by the way. Half of these things that are on TV don't even have to be on TV. There's no mandate, there's no law, and if it was, would he follow it? Like, there's no law that says that he has to be on TV for the things that he's on TV for. So the fact that we all see him sleeping is like a double failure. It's like your ego and your inability to stay awake. That's why him falling asleep during like important meetings should be a secret. If we had any shame left as a country, no one would see him get. You know what really bothers me about him sleeping? More so than any time Biden fell asleep, because there are going to be people that say 1-to-1, why are you being unfair? Why are you coming down on Trump? Biden fell asleep too. This is what I don't like. This is what disgusts me and makes me genuinely very upset about Trump's sleep over Biden's sleep, is that Trump seemed like he getting good sleep. Do you know what it's like to live in the United States and watch that man get good sleep in front of you. I'm sitting there furious, like, I know he not dreaming right now. You can hear him dreaming. Look at him. This man, because he's not just sleeping. Biden had the decency to do one of those long blinks, you know, like somebody telling you a story, you don't care anything about it. Trump over here actually leaning. And you can tell he's dreaming from his eyebrows. You look at the eyebrows. This man over here dreaming with attitude. How did you hit rim immediately? That's not even supposed to happen. Names have so much power. They take us to a place immediately in our mind off of hearing a name. I remember when I was growing up, I grew up in Louisiana, so I grew up around a lot of people with like 2 first names. Like there was this girl growing up, this girl named Mary Ellen. And Mary Ellen, you know, there are some people who look exactly like their name. Her name was Mary Ellen, and she looked like Mary Ellen. Like, it's not just because I've never met another Mary Ellen. When she said her name was Mary Ellen, I was like, that does check out. Like, she looked exactly like Mary Ellen. And you had to say it all together. Nobody called her Mary. She was Mary Ellen. And Mary Ellen loved to fight. No, Mary Ellen would rock you, too. Like, there was... Like, Mary Ellen loved to fight boys, too, so that they wouldn't take her serious right away, and she had a nasty hook. And she hit people with the hook, and they would... It's usually you have to watch professional fighting to see somebody get hit so hard that you see the sweat come off of... You know what I mean? Like, in the summertime, Mary Ellen would get in a fight, and she'd punch a boy, and a boy head turn, and then sweat would just fly up. Imagine getting hit so hard, your sweat is like, I can't be a part of this. Imagine getting hit so hard, you sweat extra. She punched the moisture out of these boys. Imagine somebody hit you so hard, you land dry. Mary Ellen will rock you quick. And Mary Ellen had a crush on one of my friends, and she walked right up to her. Mary Ellen was fearless. She didn't just love to fight. She truly, like a fearless individual. In high school, she joined powerlifting team, and she would do squats at parties with the beer keg full. Full. She was strong, and then nobody wanted to ask her to stop. You waiting for the party to start. You over here, Mary Ellen, do you mind if we, go ahead and tap so we can start drinking? Mary Ellen over here, no. Like, all right, I think she need a couple more minutes, y'all. Never mind, leave it alone. Mary Ellen had a crush on one of my friends. She walked right up to him and she was like, I'm Mary Ellen. Which, look, to be fair, that's her name, but it still felt like a wild approach. Like... Mary Ellen was coming through with so much like energy that just her saying her name, I was like, that's a little much. Mary Ellen walked up, was like, I'm Mary Ellen. And he was like, oh, okay. And she was like, I like you. And he was like, oh, thank you. And she said, you should know. I drink, I smoke, and I burp. And then she burped in his face. And now they're married. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never talked to him about it, but in my head, I'm like, he might not feel like he has a choice. It's like... That's a tough one. This, man, I think about my name sometimes. Every name has meaning. We're given these names and we're giving them sometimes on behalf of other people that you'll never meet. You're a baby, you come into this world, and you have to have a name so that people know what to call you. And I just personally believe that there is a lot of power behind names. What you call someone, what they answer to. It's a big part of how we see each other. It's why someone's name can change the whole mood in a room. It's why sometimes you meet a person, and maybe because you've had so many good experiences with somebody of this name, it's not even conscious, but you just immediately warm up to them. You see it in people sometimes. You'll have a conversation with someone. Maybe you say your name, and they're like, oh, my brother's name is Brian. It means so much to us that we have to say whatever that connection is. I think about my name, and depending on who you ask, and depending on translation and tradition, Joshua can mean delivered by God, or like as a messenger, or like as a vessel. And I didn't know it until this week, but apparently it can also mean someone who steals from the elderly. Allegedly, he's very litigious. I live in New York, and when you live in New York, you often get the chance to witness things. You just go for a walk. There's too many people on top of each other, so you're gonna see stuff that wasn't really meant for you. You know, you see so many like meet cutes. You see so many beautiful things. You'll just be walking in the park and you see a proposal. You see so many people fall in love. And one of my favorite things, we're talking like top 5 favorite things of living in New York City, is watching people like a fly on the wall, seeing people not fall in love. It happens every day. Go for an hour-long walk in New York City and you will see at least 7 people shoot their shot and be shot down. It's rough. It sounds like I'm being mean. I promise I'm not. These are organic. Not everything works out. And sometimes you gotta try. You gotta give it a try. And if it doesn't work out, maybe someone else that's meant for you will come along right after. You can't take it too personally. I was walking down the street and I saw this young lady be approached by this man, and he shot his shot. You know, he was trying to get her attention. He was like, "Excuse me, miss. Excuse me." And she turned around, and look, when she turned around, he was on a scooter. Okay. Fellas, man to man, scooter will hurt your chances. Scooter could be potentially devastating, all right? It's not a knock on you as a person. It's not you get around how you get around. I'm just saying, scooter doesn't hit like that. When she turns around and you're on a scooter, look, yes, for a second, you're taller. That's something, but as soon as she looked down and see those skinny wheels, she's not gonna be impressed. He's like, "Excuse me, miss." And she turns around, she sees him on the scooter, and she never stopped walking. She never broke her stride, right? And he He trying to keep up with her, but he tried to keep up with her, but he got, okay, look, to his credit, he does have one of the motorized ones. All right, so he not on one of these, okay? That will hurt your chances worse. If you approach a woman and you got one of these, they not, because that's the thing, it's like, people meet how they meet. And love, it doesn't matter. If you love someone, money, look, all these things will come and go or pass away. But if you approach with one of these, you might not get to that point where they meet the person beneath this. It's not the best start, especially if you fall behind, especially if you gotta be. And so anyway, he got the motorized one with, you got the little clutch. And I don't know what it is about this scooter or her stride, but he can't seem to match her. He's trying to handle it like you would if you were in a car, where you just put a little foot on the gas and you rolling by and you're like, how you doing, right? He's trying to do that, but every time he let go, it just stopped. So he jerking next to her. But then he falling behind, but then he's speeding up past her by accident. She is walking at the same speed the entire time. I cannot stress this enough that she's just regular walking, but he over here, Well, So, it's a difficult thing. It's generally a difficult thing to just watch, because he can't match her stride at all. And I've never had this type of thing going on. What I mean by that is I have all of the insecurities I feel like are normal. I've worried about myself, whether it's growing up and sometimes at present. It's like, do you look good? Are you doing your best? Or do people have a certain feeling about you? All that stuff. And so I've struggled with my confidence as I got older and everything, and I felt like I really started to settle into myself and build myself up a little bit, not be so hard on myself and everything. But at no point in my life have I had approach a woman on a scooter confidence. I've never in my life had whatever it takes in you to roll up on a woman in a scooter like, how you doing? It's never happened to me ever. I've had jobs and not had there's no way this man on the scooter had a job, and I know that I'm just guessing that, but and so then he's riding next to her, and she doesn't say anything to him, but he goes, so I was wondering, well, what you do? I was wondering what you doing late. And so right as he's saying later, he crashes. This is the thing about crashing. Crashing on scooter is bad enough, but there's ways to crash on scooter. There are some people who immediately jump off the scooter falling, I'm not falling. Hop off. This man went down with the ship like a captain. He didn't just fall off the scooter. He held onto the bars the whole time, which means he got a front seat ride to his fall. He over here falling. At one point, not quite on the ground yet, this man was literally holding the bars, looking at the ground like he's still riding the scooter. Didn't even try to put his hand out to stop himself. Rode the scooter all the way down to the ground. He fell like a math problem. I have never seen a person fall so like perpendicular, like just exactly 90 degrees. And so he slammed down on a scooter, slammed down hard enough that I gave myself away. I've been watching this from across the street. I went, ow! It was a nasty enough fall that you are just like, ow, ow! Feels like it happened to you. And then in the distance, because by the way, this thing did not take long. It was basically the block that I was watching them on. They started here, they were about here, same block. But in the distance, you can hear this guy, hey! Hey! This man's running, right? This man's running as hard as he can. Hey! Charging towards those two. Like she did admittedly, look, I can tell she's a good person because she did stop when he fell. Hey! This guy's screaming down the street, running, booking as hard as he can, like knees to chest, right? Running as hard as he can. And he goes, hey! That's my scooter! And I have never, personally, I have never had the type of confidence to roll up on a woman on a scooter I know is stolen. And not just a stolen scooter, by the way, a stolen scooter that was stolen recently. Like, so recently, the owner is tracking me down as we speak. Did he think there's no way I could approach a woman on my own 2 feet? I need some sort of vehicle to impress her. Because he clearly didn't care about the scooter. He kept slowing down to try to match her stride. This man slammed into the ground. And she turned around. I turned around and said, that's my scooter! And it's hard to know what's more embarrassing. To like approach a woman on a scooter and then she shoots you down, or to have to loudly proclaim to everyone that that's your scooter. You run to, hey! And can I be honest with you? There's no disrespect to my scooter bros out there, but that is what I thought a dude who ride a scooter all the time would sound like. That's... Anyway, this dude is over here laying face down on the ground. She turns, I turn, finally he turns. He did have to turn because his face was fully in the pavement. Not even addressing the theft allegations. He looks up at her and he's like, hey, sweet thing. Clearly in pain. Like, you know that wince where you're like, I don't know what moved in my body. He's like, hey, sweet thing. My name's Josh.
When I